For homework 6-4, we're starting some partial quotients division. Let's take a look at that family note. It says in this lesson, students are introduced to the partial quotients method, in which a number is divided in a series of steps. The quotients for each step, called partial quotients, are added to give the final answer. For example, to divide 96 by 6, students use extended multiplication facts such as 6 times 10 equals 60 to find the partial quotient. And you can keep reading. Let's see. Directions say step 1, estimate. Then we're going to write a number model with an unknown to represent the problem, then solve using partial quotients. I know I'm actually going to write a number model with my unknown first, then I'll make an estimate, then I'll solve. Jordan has 3 Great Dane puppies. At 6 weeks old, their combined weight is 48 pounds. Assuming they will all weigh about the same amount, how much does each puppy weigh? So I have 48 pounds divided up into 3 puppies, and I need to figure out how many pounds each puppy weighs. So I'm going to put a P. An estimate. Maybe I would change that 48 to maybe a 45 divided by 3. I know that 3 times 15 is 45, so I could do that. Maybe I would make an estimate round the 48 to 50 and the 3 to a 5. 50 divided by 5 is 10. Right there I have 2 good estimates, 15 or 10. Now I'm going to actually divide using partial quotients. So I'm going to put my 3 over here. All right, I start by saying how many times can 3 go into 4? I know that 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. That's too big. So 3 can go into 4 one time. I put that over here. Then I will multiply this 1 times 3. 1 times 3 is 3. I have a blank space here, so I need to fill in with a 0, and whatever I do to the inside, I do to the outside. Next step, subtract. I'm left with 18. So now I need to figure out the next part of my quotient or answer. Okay, so I'm going to start with 1 divided by 3. How many times can 3 go into 1? Well, it can't because 1 is less than 3. So I'm going to underline the whole 18. So now I need to think how many times can 3 go into 18? I'm going to keep going here with my facts. So 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. I'm getting close. 3 times 6 is 18. There we go. So 3 can go into 18 6 times. Put that on the outside, and then I know 6 times 3 is 18, so now I can subtract. I'm left with 0. I'm done dividing because 0 is less than 3. Now I need to add up the parts on the outside. 10 plus 6 is 16. So my answer, 16 pounds, which is close to my estimate of 15 or 10, so it makes sense. Number 2. 4 sisters love barrettes. They have a value pack that contains 92 barrettes. How many barrettes can each sister have if they share equally? So altogether I have 92. 92 divided by those 4 sisters will tell me how many barrettes they'll each get for their hair. Alrighty, so now I need to come up with an estimate. I know that 4 can easily go into 100, so maybe I just want to do 100 divided by 4, because that would be like 4 quarters. Oopsies, I'm putting this on the wrong spot. Hang on one moment while I fix this. So 92 divided by 4 equals B. That's my number model with the unknown. My estimate, I'm going to say, is about 100, and I know that 100 divided by 4 would be 25 because there's 4 quarters in a dollar. Now I'm going to actually do the partial quotients. Set it up. Okay, and I'm going to start with how many times can 4 go into 9? I know 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. So I'm going to go back down to this 4 times 2. 4 can go into 9 2 times without going over. 2 times 4 is 8. Remember, I write that 8 right under the 9 because that's what I've underlined. Now I have a blank space here, so I'm going to fill in with a 0. Whatever I do to the inside, I do to the outside. And then subtract. Now I have 12. 12 is less or is greater than 4, so I have to keep going. 4 cannot go into 1 because 1 is less than 4, so I'm going to underline the whole 12 and do 12 divided by 4. Let's see, right here I did 4 times 3 equals 12, so I'm going to put my 3 on the outside. 3 times 4 is 12, so now I'm going to do 12 minus 12 and get 0. Because 0 is less than 4, I'm finished dividing. Now I just need to add up the parts on the outside, and I get a total of 23 breadths each, which is close to my estimate of 25. Okay, practice problems 2, equivalent fractions. There are lots of choices here, but I might do 2/4 because 2 is half of 4, and maybe 5/10 because 5 is half of 10. 1/3, I could do 1 times 2 and 3 times 2 to get 2/6. Or maybe I want to do 1 times 3 and 3 times 3 to get 3/9. 25 hundredths, I know that's equal to 1/4. I could also double it and make it be 50 200ths. 6/8. I know that 2 can go into both of those, so maybe I want to divide by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4 3/4. Maybe I want to try multiplying. I'll do 6 times 2 is 12. 8 times 2 is 16. You could have had so many answers. These are just a few options.